just showing up for the show. Haley, I see you coming in. All the new people, welcome, welcome. Please hit me with that favorite. I'm excited. And then, okay, I see you, bro. I got you. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We're getting everybody to come in. Thank you so much for being here again. Let me get everything set up. We got everybody in here. This is a show that we do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, guys. We'll wait till like 50 and we'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys very much. Brandy, thank you. About 8 more people. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm excited about tonight, as I am every show, every week. Got 2 amazing guests. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Awesome. All right, man, you guys ready? Dr. House, what's up? Thank you.
Thank you, India. Thank you, Terror. Thank you, Disillusionment. Thank you, Frailty. Thank you, Consequence. Thank you, silence. How about me not blaming you for everything? How about me enjoying the moment for once? How about how good it feels to finally forgive you?
Thank you, Moji J. Thank you so much for doing that, man. I appreciate you doing the intro for us each and every single week. Thank you so much for doing that, guys. He's going to put his YouTube thing in the bottom. Guys, just want to welcome. This is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's called Gratitude. And just to kind of give everybody just a little bit of a welcome and an introduction to the show. The show's about finding people who wish to show more thanks during our lives. And, each week, we recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them, that helped us, reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, this is a show that we do every single week, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every Monday night. And please be sure, again, to make sure you check out all the shows. Look under training. You'll see all the banners Monday through Friday. There's a lot of amazing, great content on the app. There's cooking shows, dating shows. There's exercise shows. There's gratitude. There's a lot of talent shows of so many different things on the app. So, guys, certainly just try to take the time to support these people as much as you can, even if it is to just pop in for a few minutes to just to kind of see what they're doing. So, what we try to do every single week, guys, is we try to start the show with an amazing topic or amazing 2 topics. And we also like to start with an amazing quote. And this week's quote goes really, really amazing with the new topic that we're going to do a little bit later on in the show. And the quote for this week is, happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Let me read that one more time, guys. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. So I just wanted to just kind of leave that with you guys and think about that. And, it's so true. And I think it certainly, will be such a great segue into the topic for the new topic for this week. But as we recapping of last week, we're going to go with the topic that we have, which is forgiveness. And this week's guest, or our first week's guest, to reflect on that is a lady by the name of Tegs. And I'll go ahead and get her to request the box at the time. And we'll go ahead and get started. You can request that box anytime, Teg. There we go. Hello, hello. How are you tonight? Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday. I'm good. I'm sorry I delayed the box. My heater in my new apartment is right behind me, and it was like burning my back.
Oh, you're doing just fine. I just thank you so much for being here. Thank you so so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to take part in the show that we do every single week. Certainly just, again, want to just thank you for being here. At the time, if you kind of want to just sort of introduce yourself to people that aren't maybe necessarily familiar with you as a streamer or as a person, whatever you're comfortable with sharing, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, my name on here is Tags, but my real name is Tegan. But Tags has been a nickname that I've gone by for forever, so it's just like, okay, it works. A little bit about myself. You'll probably see these two little suckers pop up, but I have 2 dogs. I love them so much. I live in the Pacific Northwest now, and I love it here. I don't know. It's kind of weird explaining stuff about myself. I'm a twin. I love
That's
family.
really cool.
I love God.
Wow.
You didn't know I was a twin? Yeah, I'm a twin.
Well, they say you learn something new every day, so that's really awesome. That's awesome. I did not know you had a twin.
I do. Yeah, we are extremely different. Got the same DNA, but we're not the same at all. So, yeah, big family girl, big on community and friends, and just loving people. Love encouraging people, and that's mostly what my streams are about, aside from the random times that I will dance with a broom to tango music from time to time.
Well,
So
it's always good to certainly have a sense of humor, and I think that is certainly something that we all probably need in our life. Life can get a little crazy sometimes
yeah.
with everything going on, and it's certainly always amazing to have a great sense of humor. And in fact, that was a great topic that we had discussed several weeks ago prior with someone, and it's certainly just such a great quality and something certainly to be grateful for. As we kind of think about the topic that we're going to reflect on is forgiveness. When you first hear about forgiveness, or you hear about just that word in general, what first pops into your mind, or what you really go to as far as what you think when you hear that?
Honestly, the first word that comes to my mind is hard. I think forgiveness is really, really hard.
Right.
But it's also something for me that has been so beneficial throughout my whole entire life to move on, to make hard and difficult situations better. So, but initially, yeah, hard. It's a very, very hard concept to grasp and apply to your life, I think.
Yeah, it really can. I think that sometimes, when you think about forgiveness, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all go through situations and circumstances in our life that may not necessarily have the greatest outcome, not just for ourselves, but for other people as well. And, when you have those mistakes, or you have situations that just don't necessarily benefit you, that's where the forgiveness can really take a toll on you. I think.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. I think that like I said, forgiveness is something that you have to work on every day. I think in my life, especially, probably here recently, just to kind of share a personal story with myself, is, you go through situations with people that you're close with, and people that you consider really good friends. And sometimes you may sort of part ways, and everybody goes their different directions, but I think it's important to, forgive and forget. I think that it certainly can make your situation in your life better. I don't know if you have had something like that similar in your life to where you could possibly share, or, anything that you've experienced with friends or family members or anything like that.
Yeah, forgiveness has been a constant thing. I think I really had to tune in to what it meant in my life, and how I could apply it, probably starting my early teen years. I grew up in a home where my dad was an alcoholic. My mom just was depressed from the relationship, and a lot of abuse going on. And so I so badly wanted to continue to have a relationship with my dad, but I resented him. I resented him so bad. And I remember at one point, and a lot of my stuff is faith-based. So I was at church, and I was just like talking with some mentors and pastors of mine, and they just kind of told me, really, really pray about it, start journaling all of your feelings, and so that can help you process it instead of like taking it out on him. Just write down everything you're feeling about your dad. And so I started writing it out, and I remember at one point I felt kind of like a need. I think I was like 14 or 15 at the time. I felt a need to cut my dad off for 6 months. And that was really hard for me because I longed to have a good relationship with him.
Especially being a parent as well.
Yeah, it was so difficult for him. And I did not speak to him for 6 months. I worked on myself. I worked on like healing from within and healing from all of the stuff that I'd been through as a kid. And I'm not even kidding you. And I don't believe it's a coincidence, but like literally 6 months later, I can look back in my journal to the date. My dad reached out and said, "Hey, do you want to grab dinner with me?" And so we went out to dinner, and we just kind of talked about things. But I really feel like that 6 months that I took to kind of process everything that I had been through, really understand it, and then grow to come to a place of forgiveness for my dad. I think that really helped and equipped me to understand kind of where he may be coming from when he is hurting. And it doesn't make any of it right. If somebody is abusive to you, if they're manipulative, like none of that is right. But it helped me understand, taking the space that I needed, it helped me understand maybe where he was coming from. And that's kind of what I've gathered from the whole experience and multiple is forgiveness it's not really for the other person. It's ultimately for yourself. And I think, it can help release depression and stress and anxiety. But I think through that whole healing process, what forgiveness really equipped me with was the ability to have a backbone with my dad, understand where he was coming from with grace and compassion, and then kind of navigate it from there. So yeah, I don't know. It's a constant theme in my life, and still is to this day. But yeah, forgiveness is hard. And sometimes it takes 6 months to get to the place where you're finally there, and then you can reconcile the relationship. But I think it's really important as well.
Yeah. And I mean, you made a great point where, it took you 6 months, but, for other people, it could take years. And it really is difficult to get to that point because, when it's family, it's someone that you're really close to. It's tough to get there. It's tough to, look at a situation, to look at a circumstance, and to be able to forgive whatever you're going through. Because I mean, we're all, like I said, we're all human. We all, can be resentful. We all can hold on to things. We can harbor stuff. We can, be unforgiving. I think that sometimes that can, in a negative way, be the way that we handle stuff as people. Because, like I said, we just harbor stuff when we can't get past certain things. When, like you said, I mean, you made a great point where, forgiveness is not necessarily for the other person. It's a lot more for ourselves. I think when we're not able to forgive and forget, I think it can certainly put a lot of burden on our shoulders. I mean, you walk around every day, wishing that your relationship with this person or that person was better. Or you wish that, maybe that person was in your life. Maybe you guys used to be a lot closer. And maybe because of situations and circumstances, you've maybe sort of drifted a little bit. So, and forgiveness is a huge key to that, I feel like, for me anyway, is to be able to get to that point, to be able to get to that situation where you can look at it. And like you said, it took you 6 months with your dad, and also being able to journal and your faith and things like that. All that stuff works together, I feel like, to make such a very small picture into this huge, huge universal thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, like one thing too is I think through the constant forgiveness and unconditional love, like putting in that work was so worth it, because there was a point in my dad and I's relationship that he actually came to me and told me, if it wasn't for every single, like all the effort that you put into a relationship and unconditionally loving me, meeting me where I was at, and just continuing to like show up. He said he honestly would have probably committed suicide at that point, and he broke down. And it's just, I think it's rewarding to know that you're doing the right thing by forgiving them, because not only does it benefit you, but when you're releasing that constant forgiveness on people, I think they feel it too, and they feel that unconditional love, and it makes an impact on their life too. So
it really does.
It's for you, but it shows other people where your heart is at too, and I think that's a big thing.
It really is. It really, truly is. And you couldn't have said it any better yourself. So, wow. Guys, if you're new to this is a show that we do every single Monday. It's called Gratitude gratitude. We're talking with Tex. This is a amazing topic. We're talking to her tonight about forgiveness, and really just overall the show is about, finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life, our life. Each week's guest we would call circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them, have humbled us, and to help us reflect and grow through that gratitude and be able to understand that, there's a lot of things certainly in life that we go through that we really all can think about and be grateful for and appreciative of, certainly. So this is a show, again, like I said, that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And like I said, if you get an opportunity, guys, please, if you're new here, check us out. Certainly try to check out all the amazing other shows on the app. If you look under trending, you'll look at the top and see all the banners for shows Monday through Thursday, all different times of the day, all different times of the evening. And just try to take the time to certainly try to support these people, what they're trying to do. There's a lot of amazing people, a lot of great, wonderful content creators. And I know that they certainly, along with myself, would certainly appreciate, just popping in and kind of seeing what they're doing in their neck of the woods. So again, thank you so much for being here. And like I said, we're just discussing things with Tegs and talking about forgiveness and how important that's been in her life. She was dealing with a situation and a lot of circumstances with her dad, and her being able to just be vulnerable and for you to be able to really share, what you were experiencing. As you kind of got a little bit of, suggestions and input about the journals, what is there anything that you would particularly like to share that helped you get to the point of forgiveness? Or is it something that you just sort of started jotting down and you just, like, as you were thinking about what you were going through, did it just kind of come off on the page?
It's really hard to answer that, because I can't say that it was a specific thing that helped get me to that point, because I feel like it's all of the work that you put in. I even can bring up another circumstance
Sure.
where it took me like 2 years. It's like someone hurt me really, really bad, and it took me 2 years to finally get over it. And I was so bitter in my heart. And it's not overnight, but it's just constant, like, releasing it. It's a mindset. And sometimes I think aside from the journaling and using that to really help process my thoughts and what I was feeling instead of taking it out on the person, I think another thing is to kind of fight those negative thoughts. So when you're, like, thinking those things like, oh, I hate the way that my situation is right now. I hate the way that my relationship is with my family or this person or my significant other or whoever it is. I've noticed that it's been really, really helpful to me to find reasons why I love that person, and come from a place of understanding that they, as you said earlier, they're not perfect either. Because there's definitely been circumstances too where I've hurt people because they've hurt me. And I don't know, it's just, I think releasing those thoughts, it's daily, it's constant. And, if you're starting to think that, just take power over that situation and say, no, like, I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to do what I need to do to make this right. And it's hard. It's really hard to be the bigger person, but it's a complete, like, mindset change, I believe. It's daily work. It never ends.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, to kind of sort of flip the switch a little bit, I think that, as we're kind of talking about forgiving other people, I think, like you said, you hit the nail on the head when you said that, we're human and we make mistakes. So obviously, not to speak for you, but I'm sure that there's been situations in your life where, you kind of screwed up or you kind of messed up and you had to ask for forgiveness, just like I have. I think, like I said, none of us are perfect. All of us have things that we have to work on as we grow as people, as we mature and try to be the best version of ourselves. Through that process, we can make mistakes. We can, kind of, look at this and be like, I didn't really make the best situation or decision on that. Maybe we had great intentions. Maybe we had a great, thing up here, but our execution wasn't the best. I've certainly experienced that myself, where you go into a situation and you try to make it better, or you try to come from it from a different angle, and you realize that what you kind of done is sort of just mess up. And then, sometimes pride gets in the way a little bit to where you say, well, it's hard to apologize. And it's hard to get someone to, to be able to forgive you for some of the mistakes that you've possibly made. Have you ever experienced anything like that, or?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really hard because I think when you're in that situation, you don't really know if somebody's open, like their heart is open to forgiving you at
Sure.
that time. So I know for me, like whenever I'm in that place, like, okay, I'm ready to like apologize, I'm ready to like reconcile with this person. Sometimes they're not ready and they push you away and they'll continue to say hurtful things. And it's really easy to like try and flip the blame back on them. Like, well, you did this to me too, and I'm trying to make it right. And, so you're the one not, um, like this is kind of in your court now because you're the one not willing to make it right with me. Yeah, exactly. So you forgive and pray for them, but sometimes you just need to give them the space because you can't force someone to forgive you until they're ready. And like I said earlier, it's mostly for yourself. So if
Yeah.
someone wants to hang on to that and hang on to the bitterness and the stress and the depression that it brings them, that's completely on them. But you have to come to terms with the fact that you did everything you could to make it right. So, I can apologize and apologize and apologize, but I think what speaks louder is my actions that follow that. So if I apologize for what I did, make it known like, I love you, I'm sorry that this happened, and I will do my best not to do it again or to handle the situation better next time. That speaks a lot louder when you actually follow it out than just continuing to say that over and over again and keep making the same mistake. So, yeah, sometimes just giving people the space that they need. Sometimes it happens immediately and they're ready. But I think ultimately continuing to try and approach each situation with grace and also like in a calm environment. If you're still worked up and you're not ready to talk about it, then don't talk about it
Yeah.
yet. If you
I think
can't come to it and keep your composure, then you're obviously not ready to talk about it and you need to take more time to process and kind of get in the right headspace for it.
Yeah, I completely agree because, I think sometimes, you made a great point that sometimes, when you're in a situation with someone that you kind of have to take a step back because if you come at it and you have a lot of emotion involved, people just have to put their swords away. It
Yeah.
becomes a huge fight. It becomes a huge misunderstanding. But, if people just sort of take space away and put their swords away, then that's when the compassion, that's when the forgiveness, that's when the understanding can come into play. And it certainly down the road may make for a way better situation than where it initially started.
Yep.
So, wow, such a great conversation, such a great topic. I certainly have appreciated you sharing your story and being so vulnerable with what you've experienced in your own life. Is there anything that you really love to add? Anything that you'd like to tell anyone to continue to encourage them to continue to them to be grateful for anything and everything in their life?
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say, like, I know that there's people who have been there where I'm at or was at, who have been through situations of abuse and manipulation and, just to even like bring it further, like people have hurt you very, 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 very deeply in ways that, definitely need action taken or whatever. But like, I think the biggest thing for me, and this kind of comes back to the center of where all of my forgiveness is rooted, and it's in God. I've always told myself if God can bring something beautiful out of the situation, I'll be grateful and thankful for it. In every single situation that I've been through, where I've either needed to forgive myself or forgive someone else. If I put in the work, oftentimes I've been able to encourage somebody else who's going through the same thing as I am. And that way, they, number one, know they're not alone, but number two, know it's not impossible to move on. That in itself, I think, is really, really beautiful to me. And that's where my streams are about encouragement and helping people get through other things or getting through the struggles of life. So, yeah, I think, just have hope. Like, there can be beauty in every single situation, no matter how ugly it is. But yeah, forgiveness is key to making something beautiful out of every ugly situation. So that's what I would add. Yeah, just kind of my take on it. So
Well, that's so well said. You couldn't put it any more beautifully than you just did. Guys, please take an opportunity while she's in the box to please hit her with that favorite. Again, thank you so much, Tex, for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and moving and all that good stuff to be here with us and to be able to share such a wonderful, vulnerable, just part of your life. And I just appreciate you, just being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. When you asked me about it, I was actually really, really, really thrilled. So I was like, this is probably my favorite thing, my favorite show on Meet Me to have been on so far. So
well, thank you certainly so much.
There's meaning to it, There's a lot of meaning to what you do on here, and it's all positive, and I really appreciate that about you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Jamison.
Thank you. Wow, guys, such a heartfelt story, such a heartfelt, perspective on forgiveness and to have the right attitude and the right mindset on that kind of stuff. I certainly just appreciate her being so vulnerable and being here. And, wow, it's just such a great thing. Guys, just wanted to share with you again, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's called Gratitude, and the show's about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life or our life. And, each week we have guests that recall, circumstances and people and memories that have humbled me, that have humbled you, that have humbled them, and, to help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. So as we were talking about forgiveness, that was certainly amazing. And we'll go ahead and share the quote one more time to go into this week's topic is, happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Let me read that one more time, guys. There's a lot right there in such a small phrase. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. So, guys, as we say that, we're going to go into this week's topic. This week's topic is happiness. Kind of going to switch gears a little bit from forgiveness to happiness, and certainly, how that is a great topic to really be grateful and appreciative of that. And we have an amazing guest as well that I want to kind of welcome her and ask her to the box at this time, just to kind of get into this topic and to really share, what's certainly important, to her and her life and experience. So, guys, want to welcome Ms. Raina Cams to the box.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Cams. Thank you
so
much.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for just, again, like I said to Tegs, being here, taking a part of the show. It's certainly something that we try to do every single week on the app to, really just bring something unique and different to the app. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Kind of like I was telling her, if you kind of want to introduce yourself, if you kind of want to just share some thoughts about you, personally as a streamer, a little bit of both, just to kind of get people to be familiarized with you.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Raina Cams. I stream almost every day. I try my best. I do my best to create content. I also have some shows on Tuesday. We do On the Mental from 7 to 9, I believe. And I also create other shows. We've had a magic show with Magic Mike. We've had a talk about being biracial with B Holmes. We've had all kinds of things that we've done, and I'm really happy to create an environment on my live that is positive, that is uplifting and engaging, and something that's fun. So that's me. As well, I just want to share that I'm so happy to be a part of the app as a diverse app with so many people that are from different places all over the world with different backgrounds. And one thing that is very important to me to share is that I am Jewish, and I find that my Jewishness is a religion and a culture that I participate in, and I find that that is something I love sharing. So I do share about the holidays, the Jewish holidays, and we have something special for Passover coming up this Saturday. And you can all interact with me both on the live and on Instagram. And I would love to get to know you guys as well.
Absolutely. Wow. That's a lot. I mean, that's great. I mean, I think it's always certainly amazing when you see people that embrace their culture, embrace their background, embrace where, they haven't forgotten where they come from. and where they've been, certainly maybe their own personal experience or even their family. Sometimes there's a lot of, history and ancestry with cultures that people don't necessarily really understand until they get into the history or talk to, there some older people that really have an understanding of what it maybe used to be like and where it is today, and be able to be appreciative and grateful just within that own regard of where their family really was or where they've really been. So thank you for sharing that about, your culture. I certainly know that I would like to be there, as well as maybe probably some other people to take part in what's important for you and pass over and things like that. So thank you so much for sharing that. When, you made a great point about your own streams and how, it's great to, bring a lot of great positivity and energy and excitement. I think that a lot of people can see that when, you're around someone that way, when someone's kind of not really feeling it, or someone that's kind of just sort of going through the motions, I think people can certainly sense that. So when someone's extremely excited and someone's really just, in that mood and in that zone, that's where the happiness comes from. And so when you think about happiness within itself, what does that certainly mean to you?
So it's really interesting, actually, because I've done a lot of work on what happiness means. And I think that we, as typical people in society, have lost the real truth about happiness, and how to find happiness, how to feel happiness, and what is happiness. So for me, happiness is really, there's a part of happiness that is a state and a moment that you're in. And
Right.
that's feeling and a vibration and an energy. Okay, that's happiness. But to really reap the benefits of happiness, you need to understand that it might be contentment, it might be feeling okay, it might be feeling a certain vibe for a certain time. Happiness can come and go, but overall in life, if you want to be a happy person, that could be a peaceful person, that could be an energetic person. So I think defining happiness for you and what works for you, but overall, what is the healthy point of view of what happiness is? And I will say, for me, being happy, feeling positive, feeling good, feeling energetic is something that I strive for on a daily basis, because those feelings mean that I'm more efficient in my day, efficient in my job, efficient in my relationships and overall health. And at the same time, I may not be overall a happy person in general. So even though I'm not a happy person inside in my heart and soul, I can feel those things to work on that just overall, because it is a journey to go through life and the motions of life. So that's kind of how I look at it. And anybody, I see a lot of my people, thanks for coming and showing love. But a lot of the people on my stream know that I do experience a range of emotions, but my hyper is my happy. So when I'm happy, crazy, positive, jumping, dancing, got music on, that kind of thing, that's my happy moment. That's my best me. So happy is your best self.
Yeah, I have a very, very similar perspective like you do. I think that, a lot of times it's a mindset. I think a lot of times for me as well, it's the people that you surround yourself and associate with. I think that, it's a very cliche saying that, birds of a feather flock together. But,
Yes.
If you surround yourself with positivity and happiness and great energy, then, not only do other people resonate with that, but you feel it in yourself. And for me, especially too, is when you feel that happiness, when you feel the joy and the excitement, people see that. People resonate to that. People love to be around that kind of stuff. When you're negative and you have a lot of stuff going on and things are pessimistic, people don't want to really be surrounded with that kind of stuff, because they might be out dealing with their own stuff in their own personal lives. And so that can kind of bring them down when they're already maybe struggling in some areas. And so if you can be that light, in a darkened world or a darkened part in people's lives, people love that kind of stuff. People love that energy and happiness. And so, I think that it's, like you said, when we were talking about, this being certainly just a perfect topic for you, I'm the same way. I think that is really important important to have that happiness. I'm not saying that you have to come off as fake or that you're forcing it, but you can just show it, just show that like you're happy to be alive, happy to be excited, happy to be, just have a breath of life. And I think that sometimes we can kind of get caught up in the negativity of reality, just because of everyday life and jobs and boyfriends or girlfriends or family life, and it kind of it not really show.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that if you really want to work on being happy or feeling happy with yourself, you need to understand who is your genuine self. So what I like to do is, first I want to share a philosophy that I follow, which is something that Jason Silva, you can follow him on Instagram or YouTube, but Jason Silva, he believes that the key to happiness and feeling those vibes of being happy is by staying in a constant state of awe. So for me, I'll give one example of being in a state of awe. I raise butterflies in the summer. What's more awe, feeling than being in nature and watching a butterfly flutter in the garden, laying an egg, exactly, Triple L knows, laying an egg. The little egg is like a millimeter, and taking that and incubating that, feeding a caterpillar, and then it becomes a butterfly after it makes a chrysalis. There's nothing more awe-inspiring, awe-feeling. And Jason Silva helped me in my low times of dealing with depression, anxiety, stress by reminding me that I can just go outside and be in awe. I could go to the zoo and be in awe. I can watch my friends with open eyes, no talking, just listening, watch my friends at an event, having a good time, and be in awe. So to me, that is something super important to practice, as well as making your lists of what makes you personally happy. Maybe you like to read, but Reina doesn't read. Sorry guys, I can't sit and read a book to be happy, but I can dance and that's what makes me happy, and I can talk and that's what makes me happy. And then one more thing I find very important is, everybody, I hope you'll pay attention to this one most important point, and Jamison, you'll love this one. Giving yourself the opportunity to feel like a child. So go to that water park, get on that water slide, and just let yourself be like a kid and enjoy that, and giving yourself moments to be a child, and just be fun and silly as an adult.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree, because when you do that, you go back to the innocence of being a child. You go back to just being very free-willed and free-spirited, that you don't have a lot of huge concerns. You're not worried about bills. You're not worried about making a car payment, house payment, that kind of stuff. And when, like you said, you kind of take things back to the natural element of just being a child and being a kid at heart, that can certainly bring out so many different, layers of emotion and of happiness that maybe you necessarily hadn't been able to explore in quite a long time. Yeah. And so I think that's a great point that you made, because I think a lot of times that we can do that as adults. We kind of forget about just the natural core values of life and just being happy. And again, I think sometimes we as humans, probably myself, included, that we allow certain things to make us happy, materialistic things, things that we can buy at a store, things that we see in a display case, things that, we put a lot of emphasis on, when in reality, if we didn't have that stuff in our life, we'd be better off anyway. Whether it be a phone, whether it be a TV show, whether it be a person. Sometimes you can put your happiness in other people. I think sometimes I was guilty of that when I was younger. You think that you're really in love with someone, or you care about someone, and you think that you put all your eggs in one basket, when you don't realize that you should be nurturing your own self. And that's where the joy and the wondrous, part of life, where happiness does exist.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, these are all great points, and I love that. And I think that understanding energies and understanding yourself. So I'm very sensitive to colors. As you can see, I'm wearing hot pink lipstick. I'm wearing white. those colors bring, you know, excitement to me and freshen me up. But when I wear black, I don't feel so great. So for me, maybe it's not for you, but for me, I have to understand energies. Also walking away from, you know, places where you're not welcome or you're not wanted. And as we talked about forgiveness, we can connect that to happiness, because you need to let yourself let go of things more and be okay with moving on and be okay with moving forward, because you want your happiness more than gold. You should want your happiness more than gold, because as I said before, it's efficiency with mental health, efficiency with your jobs in the day, efficiency with your kids, efficiency with your relationships. And it's very important to have just positive vibes. So I really think that happiness is misconstrued, and you know, it kind of, we think of happiness as this, you know, be all, and this, you know, but there's so many ways to feel happiness, to feel good vibes, and to feel positivity. Just like this, you're listening to me, I feel happy because I'm heard. You guys are listening to me, I feel happy because I feel heard, and that's something that I feel. Anyways, you know, I don't want to go on too much. I have
No, I
so
mean,
much.
that's great. That's great. And, you know, as we're kind of going into that, guys, we'll shift back to, you know, this is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's called Gratitude. And certainly try to take the time to be here every single week. We have a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing topics on the show. And I certainly want to just thank you guys for being here. We had a great conversation earlier with Miss Teggs about forgiveness. And right now we're just having an incredible conversation with Miss Raina about happiness, and certainly what it means to her, certainly what it means to me, what it could, you know, possibly mean to you guys. And I think it's just amazing to dive into just the vulnerability. I think sometimes, you know, us as streamers, you know, we get in our box a little bit. We just kind of do our own thing and kind of don't realize that it's certainly great to have these kind of conversations, because, you know, none of us live our life inside of a phone screen or an iPad or a computer screen. You know, we all still have stuff in our life. We all have a lot of stuff going on, you know, in our family or daily life that brings us a lot of happiness. And sometimes that's hard to be able to communicate that, you know, to people through a phone screen. So when we're able to have conversations like this, it shows the vulnerability, it shows the excitement, it shows the passion. And again, it certainly shows the happiness of not only what it means to my life, but certainly yours as well.
Absolutely. The biggest thing that was a change maker, was a change maker in my life, was really the fact that I accepted who I am. And once I accepted who I am and really felt love of the core of Raina, I was able to go forward, and I was able to feel way more positive. And then, you know, I'd walk into a room and people would gravitate towards me. Now, it wasn't the life of the party, but I had an energy around me that people wanted to be around. And it really had nothing to do with me looking for their attention. It just had to do with me going to that event, just being genuinely me. That's why I love the app, because I've been the most me on this app than I've been in my whole life. And it's been incredible.
Yeah.
It's really been nice.
Yeah, it really has. And it's, you know, at the end of the day, it's such a wonderful feeling. You know, I have people on a daily basis that hit me up on Instagram, hit me up in the DMs, you know, hit me up on Snapchat, and they thank you for me just being me. They thank me for being positive. They thank me for being genuine. They thank me for being humble. They thank me for, you know, bringing some energy and positivity into their life. And at the end of the day, that's very gratifying, because it's like I'm just still continuing to be myself. I'm still continuing to just be the best version of me. And people resonate, and people are attracted to that because they see how happy you are. And it brings a lot of happiness and joy into other people's lives. And it's a transference, you know? It's a transference of, So that's important.
I do what I call dance battles. I haven't promoted it yet, like by making a poster, but dance battles is something that what I do is on random battles, I mute my volume so I can't hear what anyone is saying, but I just say, hey, get up and dance with me, and I'm dancing, and they, everybody's different responses, but this one woman stopped her car and danced with me, and she was so happy and she had so much fun, and it was amazing. So dance battles works for me because I get to let out my energy. I call myself a kinesthetic buddy. I don't call myself, okay, ADD, ADHD, I don't care about labels, but I'm a kinesthetic buddy, and I like to move and shake, and I'm my happiest self when I do that. So incorporating that into the live and having fun with everybody through the dance battles, they just love it. They just love it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, that's the happiness. I mean, if you got it, shake it. And if it's the happiness that brings it out, that's great, because people see that, people enjoy that, people see that it brings a certain level of greatness to your life. And it's like, it's a big party, it's just, yeah, it's a superpower. Yes. It's a great big party. And people love that. People love to see the excitement. People love to see just the overall happiness of what you're doing. And it's a trickle effect. It just trickles down from you to this person, to that person. And it's a domino effect, I think.
Absolutely. And my Judaism has really helped me understand how to be a happy person as well. And one thing I'll just share quickly is the word for love is ahava, but the root have means to give. So being truly loving others means to give. And when I give, there's a connection there. I feel happy because I've done something to make someone else happy, and I just enjoy the giving of whatever way I'm giving. And it can be time. It could be listening. It could be bringing someone a gift. So my religion, Judaism, we teach giving and kindness and stuff like that. So happiness may be achieved by working on your religious self and understanding religion or a community that you fit in. And I think that that's important too. I just want to share that.
No, that's great, because I completely agree. I mean, I think that when you know who you are, when you know what you want to accomplish, when you know what you want to communicate to other people, that it makes it all works together. It all works together. It's a big cycle. It's a big constant circle of just, genuineness and happiness and hospitality and, all the wonderful adjectives and characteristics that people don't necessarily think about sometimes on the surface. And, as you continue to retweak that and you continue to retool, the opportunities that we've been given from, your family, from a different power, from the man upstairs, if you try to continue to work that, in a constant motion, then, you can find nothing but happiness and joy in life.
Absolutely. I mean, my most favorite night or moment in my life was when I was on something called the Elevation Seminar in Israel, when I was living in Israel. And he told me to do this activity. Well, he told the whole group to do this activity where you stare at someone eye to eye and you try to take from that the feeling of God, that God is loving you, and that this person is their most open self. And I will tell you that I felt the most happy, more happy than my favorite night at the club. And you guys know I love to dance. So it was a state that, it was such a loving state. So I encourage you guys to find what works for you and don't have judgment with it. And I'm telling myself, whatever makes you happy, don't have judgment. Nobody needs to understand what makes you feel good and what makes you feel positive. You just
as long as they see it. Just as long as they see it and you feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. This has been such a wonderful conversation to have. It's such a great topic. I certainly like to leave things sometimes very broad, because then you can be able to hit certain points and different characteristics of a topic, and I think it's certainly just wonderful for you to be able to open up about certainly what happiness means to you in your personal life, certainly what it means to you in your, personal beliefs about God
Sure
and things
you
like
did.
that. And I certainly just want to just again take the time to not only thank you for doing that, but for just the vulnerability, the openness of what certainly just makes you tick in such a tremendously positive and overwhelming effect. And do you have anything you kind of want to add to the conversation to just leave with people, the happiness, anything that you want to just end with?
Sure. I mean, before I end, I want to make sure that I say thank you, Jamison, for being such a positive, uplifting person. You're great. This has been so lovely, and it's definitely uplifted my attitude. So I really appreciate that, and I would encourage everybody to work on themselves in the basic, and then the other things will come. Making sure your diet is good will help you feel happy. Make sure your sleep is
It's
good will help you
confusing
feel
at first,
happy. Make sure your
but you
mental
need
is
to
good.
watch
It will make
the
you feel
tutorial.
happy. So and all of you guys that are here, I only wish you the best in your life, and just keep growing and doing better and questioning. Ask questions and be open to learning. And what you don't know, just find out. Now we have Google. We have people that we can even call if we're in crisis or anything like that. And and I just want to say that you can all feel free to come to my live. Please don't be shy. Go in my guest box, say hello, request the guest box if it's not up, or the date box, sorry. And if you have questions about how I'm doing things or how Jamison is doing things, if you feel hurt or anything, just ask, check in. Hey, I didn't like that you did that. Can you explain that? Instead of just making it like, oh, I'm gone, or I'm done, or I'm upset. Wait a second and slow the system down. So really processing your feelings and your vibes, and just always be okay being you. I know I'm a little crazy, but I'm the good crazy, and I'm happy to say it.
We all are in some way, and that's why
Yeah,
that's why
we're
people
all,
love you or love me or love themselves, because it's certainly the level of uniqueness that we bring that makes us totally different.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you everyone for all these beautiful gifts. It's just really nice to see it across the screen. Thank you, Meet Me, for this app. I mean, it's changed my life in terms of COVID life here in Toronto. I've been stuck in my apartment. I live alone for over a year now. It has been terrible. I don't have a car. So I've been doing my best to maintain a healthy, positive attitude. And Jamison, this is my first bannered show that I've been on. So I really thank you for this opportunity. And I have not stopped smiling. Press a 1 if you guys didn't see me smiling. Press a 1 if you guys didn't see me smiling at all, because I've been my cheeks are hurting, but I've had a good time. Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Jamison. I really appreciate it. And feel free to kick me out at any time.
No, you're fine. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you.
All right, take care.
You too. Do you want me to exit, or you want?
I got you. Don't worry.
Okay.
No.
Fuck.
Bye. Wow, guys, what a just a positive person. What a great show. What great guest tonight, guys. I mean, we always just want to try to find amazing, unique people to certainly bring on the app and the show every single week. And thank you so much for being here, guys. We want to revisit that quote with you guys one more time and leave you with next week's topic. Again, the quote tonight was, happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Let me say that one more time. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Wow, that's amazing stuff, guys. That's the show. We'll go ahead and leave you with next week's topic. Next week's topic, guys, is going to be family. And that's what we're really going to get into. I'm certainly very excited to find anybody interested in being on for that topic. Certainly hit me with the favorite at the top. Also, if you click on my profile at the top, you'll see my Instagram at the bottom, so you can certainly follow me on that.
I have
and
your
so, guys,
tail
that's
now.
the show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you so much for our amazing guests, and thank you so much for our amazing audience. We certainly appreciate you guys every single week for being supportive of what we're trying to do. That's the show. Oh, my goodness. Let's go. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh! Chin, thank you. Oh my God, guys, thank you so much for being here. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Mommy, what's up? Oh my God! Miss Grace! Oh my God! Woo! I feel like the song needs an outfit change. Well, you guys like the yellow, by the way? Whew. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. What a show, guys. Again, like I said, what a show. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, ACW. Guys, like I said, if you're new here, please hit me with a favorite. Please hit Tegs with a favorite. Please hit Raina with a favorite. Please hit all the people in red with a favorite. What a show tonight, guys. What a show tonight. And we're about to top it off with an Ice Dragon. Or a Winter Castle. Let's go!